Hi everyone, it's Nichol Spohr and welcome back to my channel. We have got more shaker mania for you today. Waffle Flower has just released a whole collection of amazing shaker products, and I'm going to be sharing with you a day and night version shaker card using brand new products from the October 2021 release. We're going to start with the daytime version. This is the solar system die that I am inking up right now. I die cut it from smooth white cardstock, and I'm using fossilized amber and wild honey distress oxide inks with waffle flower blending brushes to add a little color to this sunshine here. So that's going to be the cover that goes around the shaker opening. Keep in mind there are lots of different shaker options, shaker styles, and accessories that go with their shakers. I'm really just kind of showing one version today. This is the new SUNBURST panel. This is a gorgeous panel that really could be used for many other things. So while I'm using it for a shaker card today, keep in mind this would be beautiful in lots of different colors, styles, straight, die cut it from colored cardstock, ink it up with watercolors or distress inks like I'm doing, whatever you want to do. Now, I went a little bit extra today and I actually inked up the rays in different colors. It's very subtle. I mean, very, very subtle. Probably would not have had to do this, but I knew this card was going to be super simple. And so I opted to do this with 4 different colors of Distress Oxide ink, even knowing that a lot of the time they're going to be pretty close in color. I am using Squeezed Lemonade, Mustard Seed, Fossilized Amber, and Wild Honey. And I am simply inking up each ray separately. I removed and reapplied the same 2 pieces of Post-it tape for each ray of my sun. So you don't have to completely grab new tape or anything like that. It got really inky. My fingers got inky. I even touched the panel in a couple places, but I didn't worry about it. I probably needed to try to keep my fingers like on the tape or not on there, but I knew that I would be, first of all, die cutting a big section out of the background for my shaker. The sun is going to take up a big portion, and I'm applying ink. So and it's all yellow, that's the other thing. So even if I do get a little bit of finger marks, I probably can cover them up, and I did cover them up. So after I went back and forth between the 4 colors twice, I got smart. Let's go ahead and go every 4th ray, and we're just going to move our Post-it tape, take our blending brush, and keep inking them up. So we're going to go around the whole thing. I know I kept it all in here, but I really wanted to show the coloring process. Now, this would be the same no matter what color you chose. I think rainbow would be amazing with this cover, and you could do something really similar with it. I would keep in mind with your Post-it tape, you may want to have a couple of sets of Post-it tape if you're going to do rainbow, like 1 set for reds and pinks. Yellow probably needs its own just because you don't want to cross-contaminate, or do yellow first. Blues and purples could probably share, and then, some greens or something like that. You could probably even lump orange in with your pinks and reds if you wanted to. That would just be my personal preference. If you want to do something similar and you want to do rainbow rays and you don't want some of that ink from the Post-it tape to transfer when you're switching colors. So that's kind of my little tip for the day, I guess, with that, if you're going to do something different, and even if you're just going to do some different color combinations instead of yellow. So we are going to continue working our way around. You will notice I just keep moving the tape. I am going to speed this up a little bit so we can get to the creation of the shaker. I love a good tone-on-tone background, so this was really fun to try to find ways to add some interest into a background that is completely yellow. Now, there are many different sentiments you can use from this solar system sentiments stamp set that matches both of the kind of backgrounds I'm creating today. So the solar system dies comes with the sun, the planet, the stars, all of that good stuff to build either of these cards, or lots of other things as well. Doesn't have to just be this. The solar system stamp set comes with sentiments that coordinate with this, obviously, but they're going to work there for lots of different occasions, I guess I want to say. And I love that. Waffle Flower really did a great job of making it so that our products, their products, are going to work for many occasions. So let me grab that stamp set. Here is an example of the sentiments in that stamp set before we kind of get to the stamping of the sentiment while I'm finishing inking. Sending sunny days. Our love is universal. You're out of this world, which I'll use for the night shaker. Here's to another trip around the sun, which is what I used for this sunshine shaker to make it a birthday card. Congrats, that's going to work for any kind of card. Happy birthday, same thing. You put a ring on it. Very clever for the solar system planet. I think that would be cute, and it also would work for other kinds of engagement cards. Hey sunshine, oh my stars, shine on, and you are my sunshine. So fantastic sentiments that are going to work for lots of things, and the fonts are amazing. I really like them. Very kind of whimsical and fun. We're going to clean up our work surface, and I am now going to kind of figure out my placement for my sun. I also want to add some extra distressing to my background, so I I spritzed the sun and the background with water from a distress sprayer. I'm going to blot that dry, clean up my glass mat work surface a little bit more, and we are going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment right here in the bottom right of our panel. So like I said, I chose to use Here's to Another Trip Around the Sun. I am going to stamp this in black ink. I didn't feel like white embossing on this background would show up very well. I didn't really want to do tone on tone. We have a lot of yellow here. I probably could have used wild honey for the sentiment, but I didn't think that it would stand out like I want it to. And ultimately, I know I talk about this a lot. Normally, I probably wouldn't choose a black ink because there isn't other black anywhere else on the card, and it's going to be it's really going to stand out. But I'm actually going to take the face dies included in the solar system die set. You can see them laying there on my desk, and we're going to build a face on the sun in black. So I think the black sentiment will tie into the black embellishing of our little sunshine face. This card in particular doesn't have a lot of other stuff happening, and that's not a bad thing. But I want to make sure to add as much embellishing as possible to add interest and fun to it, and I think the face really just adds a whimsical feel. Now I die cut the sunshine shape from my background using the slim shaker die. I know the slim circle shaker dies are meant to work with the slim line. I'm using the puffy for my card today, not the slim, but it works for this as well. I just need an opening that my puffy shaker is going to fit through, and that worked. You could also use the circle shaker dies from Waffle Flower, so keep that in mind. As I mentioned, this is the shaker cover puffy circle. I want my shaker to be really puffy. I'm not using foam tape today. I wanted to show you shaker cards without foam. So it's going to just be this puffy circle that pops up. I glued it in place to the back of my front sunburst panel. I placed the sunshine around the outer ring edge to dress that up and make it a sunshine. And then on the face, I know I'm working over a black mat. I wish I would have put some white cardstock back behind it, but I didn't. I am gluing the mouth and eyes in place right here on my puffy circle, and I am just using some liquid adhesive to glue these down. I'm using some tweezers to easily pick up the pieces and pop them down in place. When I'm completely done embellishing my card and putting it together, I'm going to take glossy accents and place it over the eyes and allow it to dry, and it gives the eyes such a fun glossy finish that I really, really love. So I know it doesn't look great right at the moment, but we're working over, there we go. I put my hand behind it. Thank goodness. You can see that it just gives a whimsical face to our sunshine. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have so many sequins laying around, not really laying around, I have them organized in my studio that I never use. I just have so many. So I actually grabbed containers of some that I've had for a while, and I dumped loads of them in here. There is no sense in saving things forever. Use them, use your craft supplies. There's always more. I used to really be bad about not using things I have. Anymore, I have kind of, embraced the use what we have. There will be something else coming around the bend that I'm going to want. So use the things I already have. So I used these yellow and orange sequined mix. I don't even know if I have the exact one listed here, you guys, because I don't even think it's probably still available. But you probably have something, or pick some up. There are loads. Pretty Pink Posh has lots. Honeybee Stamps has lots. Those are probably my two big go-tos, or Lucy's Little Things. So grab something fun from there. I did add some wild honey to another background piece here. This is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of smooth white cardstock. Just inked it up good with Distress Oxide, spritzed it with water from a distress sprayer to give it a little bit of distressing. And then I'm using a nice strong adhesive. I use the Glue Glider Pro, and I am simply going to put adhesive anywhere where that opening is not. And then I put a little liquid just around the opening of my shaker, and I'm going to put the backer straight on my card. So this is where the no foam adhesive, there's no foam, and it's still a shaker because we've got that puffy circle. I love that. I kind of think it's super fun. I don't know that I've ever made a shaker without foam adhesive before. So really cute, and look at all those sequins. Look at that cute face. I have to say, I thought it was just super fun and a great way to make a shaker card. Glossy accents on the eyes, like I was talking. You can see I've scattered some of my favorite matte gold little stars from Lucy's Little Things around. I'm also adding some little shooting stars, I think is what they're called, around the design as well. Let's move on to the nighttime version. I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but I think I like it even more than the sunshine, the daytime version, mostly because creating a galaxy sky is one of my favorite things to do with Distress ink, or Distress Oxide in the case today. I love blues, purples, and blacks together, and then when you spritz it with water from a distress sprayer, it looks amazing. So I actually started with die cutting my circle from the background, and again, I just used that slim shaker largest circle. If you have a circle die that's going to work with the puffy cover, you can use that. You don't have to necessarily use these, but they are sized to work with the Waffle Flower products. I started with that first because there's no need to keep it. I'm going to put a different color back behind, and so I just opted to go ahead and die cut first for this one. For the Sunburst, it was a little bit harder because it has those die cut lines for the Sunburst, and I thought that the ink blending brush might catch on them, so I went ahead and inked it and then die cut. But here is not that problem. It's just a smooth white cardstock background that we're inking with Wilted Violet, Prize Ribbon, and Black Soot Distress Oxide inks. If you have followed me for any time, you know that this is a favorite color combination for Halloween cards. I even got my Halloween nails going on right now. Halloween cards, nighttime skies, galaxy skies, I love it. So I simply kind of did like a little purple here and there, some blue. It looks terrible right now. I always think that's the funny thing about when you're inking up a background like this, is it starts out and it just does not look natural. It doesn't blend well, but keep working those inks. I am using a pretty heavy hand, and I'm being pretty generous with the ink, but we're just going to keep adding until we get it looking just the way we want. I am trying to avoid some of the blue and purple areas as much as possible. But then I'm going to go back with my purple and blue blending brushes, and I'm going to ink over this to blend it out really nice. And it's going to reinforce the blue and purple, but still give it that nighttime galaxy sky look. So you can see it's starting to really resemble a galaxy sky. I'm loving how this looks. I need to add some more ink here. That's where the tape was for taping that circle in place, and it kind of left a little residue that I ended up getting rid of, and then I could ink over it. Once we have the background looking the way we want, we can spritz it with water from a distress sprayer. While it was very subtle on the sunshine background, it's going to be a lot more prominent on this one. Already it's starting to look like a galaxy, right? Isn't that fun? I absolutely love it. So next, I have got some little planets. I actually die cut the planets. These are from the solar system from white cardstock. And then I put some adhesive or some Post-it tape on the back. And I'm just going to move the planets one by one. So the red planet is Candied Apple and Black Soot. The blue or teal planet is Peacock Feathers and Black Soot. And then we have Rustic Wilderness and Black Soot. And these are going to be the additional little planets or moons or whatever that are floating around our big planet here. Aren't those cute? The stars are also from the solar system. I'm going to be using some little stars as well. Those are from the Star Shaker collection. Maybe you have some stars from another die set that you have at home already. I was just looking for itty bitty stars. So that's some of those little ones you can see that I've glued around my design. I think my background is probably dry by now. So I am going to stamp my "You're Out of This World" sentiment right here in the bottom left corner using clear embossing ink and heat embossing with white embossing powder. Definitely went with the embossing for this one since I want the white, or because the white really will pop against this galaxy sky. I prepped it with a powder tool first, stamped it a couple times with my Hero Arts embossing and watermark ink, and then we'll heat set the white embossing powder right on top. For this background, I felt that we really needed to add a lot of sparkle, stars, all that good stuff all over the design. So I do have like all the little silver stars already adhered, but we're going to do like the little shooting stars everywhere and make sure we really fill in the entire background. Now for the planet, I thought holographic cardstock is going to be the way to go. Don't forget to buff away any powder from your panel with a dry cloth. I use a dry microfiber cloth. You can use any kind of dry cloth there. I am going to do just like I did before. I am going to glue my puffy circle shaker cover to the back of my panel. I'm using a little liquid glue, just kind of holding it there, holding it in place. This is not going to have a die that necessarily covers up the fact that there is an opening. You don't really need it to, honestly. And then, like I was talking with the last card, I'm filling this with loads of shaker material. I probably haven't opened these honeybee stamps sequins in several years. There is no sense in keeping things you're not going to use. So I filled that sucker up. I wanted it to be completely full. I have some holographic cardstock from Simon Says Stamp that I'm going to back this with instead of inking. You could ink up the planet if you wanted to and leave the ring holographic, but I kind of just did the whole thing because the planet's going to have all these great shaker elements in it. So it will kind of disguise it a little bit, but I kind of liked that silver with the shaker material on top. Then we've got our rings. I put glue on it. Part of it is going to overlap that shaker. That's totally fine. I'm just kind of holding the ends down to make sure it's nice and secure. You could use clamping tweezers at this point if you wanted to, kind of a hands-off approach. And then I've got my little white heart that I'm going to stick underneath the sentiment, which I forgot to mention. I did a little red heart on my sunshine card for all of you who love to keep track of all the little hearts I add to my projects because I absolutely love them. And now I'm going to go through and I'm adding lots of little dabs of glue again. And these are those little shooting stars. I don't have a source for those. I could not find them. Maybe I'm just missing it. If I find one, I will add it at some point, but just any sparkly thing you've got. You can use sequins, you can use other little star confetti if you want to. I just like these because I think that the little shooting star is something a little different than the star shape I used all over the background. and it fills in my galaxy really nicely. So some of them I have overlapping planets, and you can see them pretty good right now because the glue's back behind them and the glue is white when it's wet. But as the glue dries, it dries clear. And these are iridescent shooting stars. So they're going to be pretty subtle, but they catch the light when you turn the panel. Really, really fun. And yes, I went completely overboard and added lots of these to the card. Because the shaker's such a big element, I tried to find little ways to add all of those extra little finishing touches that I love when card making. So we'll just add a few more of those, and then I will show you the shakers in action, I guess I should say. Both panels were placed on white side fold card bases for a landscape style card. So I'm just adhering it right there, and then you can shake it up. Shaker cards continue to be fan favorites. Recipients love shakers. I know I love shakers, and anyone I've ever given one to loves a shaker, so just a really, really fun idea. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this video showcasing the new Waffle Flower shaker products from the October 2021 release. The supplies I used to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here is another video featuring Waffle Flower products that you might be interested in. A huge thank you to my Patreon members. Definitely click the link in the description box below if you would like to become a member of my Patreon. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Please be sure to hit that notification bell and to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and we will see you next time.